Welcome back to Sea Power and welcome back to K493. This is mission 2 of the Silent Hand. We have now rendezvoused with one of our friendly submarines, the K458, and together we are to sink HMS Invincible, the British aircraft carrier. They are expected to depart very soon, and this is going to be an excellent opportunity for us to intercept and eliminate a British carrier, which of course is a very important strategic asset for NATO at large. So let's see how the situation is presently. We have our two submarines. This is the 493, capable of launching SET-65 anti-submarine torpedoes and 5365K wake-homing torpedoes. These are useful against surface ships. I still have my doubts about their efficacy, but maybe that's a gap that 458 can fill. The 458 is a Charlie 2. She is capable of launching 8 SSN-9 Siren-class anti-surface missiles. This is a minimum range of 3.5 and a maximum range of 75, so they're not particularly long-ranged, but it's a lot better than a torpedo. Unfortunately, rather than a torpedo, this thing has a pretty decent chance of being intercepted. As for torpedoes, we have 7 wake-homers and 7 anti-submarine weapons, so we have a few options. As for what we are looking at, the mission briefing says Gibraltar, but we're in the Channel, so I'm not sure exactly what's up with that. We already have a couple of neutral surface ships around, and the HMS Invincible is somewhere going there towards Safe Harbor. So it's going to be up to us to make sure that they never arrive. To that end, we probably, seeing as there is a carrier at play, we probably have to make sure that we won't get detected by helicopters and or submarines pretending to be in the area and or surface ships. So we have some things to look out for. Now, since I'm the faster one with the 493, and I'm saying I because this is the submarine that I used in the previous mission, I'm thinking this one's going to have to get in closer than the 458. It's also because the 458 can only do 24 knots, and I can do 41. So let's have the 458 go up to periscope depth. This is a nuclear boat, it is not a diesel sub, and as such I can always be detected. I mean, even a diesel boat can be detected, but they're less likely to get spotted. Since we're operating near the channel, it's not as deep as I would like. So there are not a lot of thermal layers to work with, and it's not likely to be able to go very deep. So let's go at least a little deeper and speed up to standard. Normally, of course, you wouldn't have perfect communication and perfect information sharing between the two submarines, but now I do, and I can definitely make use of that. We already have another surface ship detected, running another 60 knots, seemingly in the same course. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is neutral. I'm not sure why a German ship would be considered neutral, because we are at war after all, so I imagine convoys would be fair game. But okay, this is the rules of the game. So the plan here is to go to periscope depth and raise the ESM mast and see if there's anybody banging away on active radar. Sometimes it's surface ships, sometimes it can be helicopters. Either is very useful information because it'll tell me sort of where the ships are going to be and also what course they're going to take to get to their destination. So, raise the ESM mast. Let's go snoop. We already have a hostile aircraft very close. That's a Brit. Lower that. We're gonna have to go down right now. Let's go below the layer. Even though there is no layer, this at least will put the submarine deeper. Okay, so you were last seen here heading about south. I hope they didn't detect that ESM mast, or this is going to be all sorts of fun. And I'm not sure what type of aircraft it was. It could have been just an aircraft which is capable of engaging surface contacts, doing a patrol. Could be a full ASW plane, capable of dropping sonobuoys. I'm going to keep you around 5 knots. I'm going to have you sprint ahead. Can I go ahead full? Yes, I can. Okay, good. This means I'm going to take about 3 hours to get to this next waypoint. Of course, I'm not going to maintain my speed for that long. We'll have to do a bit of hunting for that carrier. And it's going to be a very difficult mission because I need to get close to it if I want to use those wake homers. And if I want to use my missiles, well, I better start offing some escorts first. Because I only have 8 of those anti-surface missiles. And once they're gone, I'm going to have to once again fall back to torpedoes. We have a new passive contact bearing here. 10 knots. Probably detected on the passive sonar from the 458. Because the 493 is making way too much noise. Already classified as neutral. Okay. That's nice. Now, let's see. What's the range? We had 75 mile range. So let's go with the range circle. For the 458. Yeah, so 75 miles is that, give or take. That's my range of my anti-surface missiles. The 493 only has 10 mile range, and that's at maximum range. So if you want to have your torpedoes still be able to chase something around, you're going to get closer to the target. Which, if it's a surface ship and it's running at 20-25 knots, is going to be a very, very difficult encounter. There is another way I can play this. And that is to try and have the 458 with her sirens not go after the carrier itself, but to try and hunt down the escorts. That would then potentially allow the 493 to get closer and use the wake homers against the carrier. It's not a great plan, but I guess it could work. I'm going to keep the 458 fairly slow. The reason being, there was an aircraft up there, and I really don't know if it actually dropped any sonobuoys. The 493 is running fairly quick. Got another one here. 15 knots. You're on a course of 093. Okay, you're neutral. Apparently we even heard what kind of nation it was sailing under. That's impressive. There's another. Doing 13 knots. See, there's not as much water below the keel. There's 400. There's 417 here. There's 450 there. Let's maintain course. I'm going to have K493 do a sprint, and then a drift, and then have the 458 catch up as best she can. I've raised the scope once again, and once I found a helicopter. So this thing is hostile at a range of 25 miles. I doubt it'll actually detect me, but this has given me a bit of useful information, because that helicopter's on a course of 284. So let's say he came from somewhere over there. That's possible, or he's flying around. That means that the carrier's somewhere down there. The surprising thing is, that would not put me that far away. About 40-45 miles, I would be expected to find the carrier. Yet, I'm not seeing it. So the plan that I have now is to have this ship rush ahead. And, sorry, this submarine, the faster one, the Alpha. Rush ahead and keep the 458 doing about 5 to 10 knots. She's going to be the detector for now. I'm going to lower the periscope again. We're going to go back to the layers that we were under, or, well, trying to be under. They have caught up with each other. So I'm thinking that aircraft carrier, the Invincible, somewhere around there. Probably heading northeast. You're the spotter, you're the slayer at this point, so you're going to run. And you're going to try and get inside the path of the carrier, or at least the predicted path. The 458 is going to change her course slightly to the north, rather northeast, and as such be able to try and get into position with those anti-ship missiles when I need them. Hopefully I will not, but it's possible that we'll have to rely upon those to at least sink an escort, 1 or 2, and then have an opportunity to strike the carrier. A little later I found my first hostile contact. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but the game says it is hostile. And judging by the identification here, it's most likely a warship. We are this time around not, repeat, not picking up just a neutral surface ship. I might be able to use these. There's 2 freighters here, And the K493 is actually fairly close to them. I'm going to change my course east and see if I can just kind of bob along with them. Unfortunately, that would still put me about 20 miles away from the target. So, yeah, we're slightly too far. But if those Brits decide to speed up, maybe we have an option then. I'm still not sure if this is the only one. This is the only thing I have detected thus far. And it was detected... We're supposedly tracking it, but... I'm not so sure who is. Why are you still looking at 7019er? This is 7025. Oh, it's the Invincible herself! Well, that should make things more interesting. Hello. So you're the target. You can bet your ass they're not flying solo. There's escorts around. Okay. Range... 30 miles. The good thing is, I have them on sonar. I'm not detecting any active sonar from that aircraft carrier or any of their escorts at present. So it's possible that they're not actively using that. Now that can change real quick. So ideally I would not really be ahead of them. But trying to fall in behind them, as they're doing 17 knots, is even more difficult. Let's see, you're doing 17 knots at a course of 040. So, given that bit of information, that puts you at this position in about an hour. 17 miles, course 040. Puts you at another 17 miles, 040. Range. Yeah, give or take here. This is where they're going to be in 2 hours. So I have a decent amount of time to get to a sort of rendezvous point. Oh, they're launching something. I don't have to rush in. Because I have not that far to go. Like, it's going to take me 1 hour to get here and 2 hours to get there. And we have 2 hours. So 2 hours would put me almost directly in the path of that aircraft carrier. Okay. That's not strictly where I want to end up. If I can stay around here, that would be great. Because, let's say they're going to be there. So, from this position, I have 7 miles. I need to get a little closer. If I can get to, let's say, this point, that would probably give me a decent chance to intercept them with those wakehomers. Because from here, it's going to be, what, 5 miles? Yeah. So 5 miles to the target, and then another 5 miles of, well, fuel, essentially, that these torpedoes have. So my objective lies there. And this is where I'm going to arrive in 90 minutes from now. This is going to be where they're going to be in 90 minutes from now as well. So, by my estimate, if all of this pans out, I'm going to be exactly where I want to be by the time that they're going to be where I want them to be. So this is going to be an interesting rendezvous. We're now starting to detect the escort for the Invincible. I'm getting them on sonar. The sonar from the 493 at this point, which makes sense because she's the closest ship around, or closest boat. Range, about 18 miles and 20 miles. So we got one in front, one behind. Definitely classify them as hostile. The only question is what they are and what their capabilities are going to be. If they are using active sonar, which they're not, they will probably have a very good chance of detecting the 493. The thing is, I can't exactly catch up to these things, because there's a fairly healthy chance that they're running a towed array, and if I try to catch up to them then, running at 20 knots, well, let's say the Alpha is not a particularly quiet submarine, and I will very quickly end up a dead submarine. What I can try and do is launch with 458. Try and attack this lead contact here. Maybe just send all 8 sirens after it, or at least send all 8 sirens after both of these targets. There's a chance that they'll all try to hit Invincible. I'm not sure if that will happen. The other opportunity that I have is just to hold. Just wait. And prepare to fire my 6 torpedoes with the 493 and then run like hell. I think that might be the better chance, because the moment that these guys get attacked by missiles, they'll probably start behaving very erratically. And right now they're predictable. So that's kind of where I want them. The real question is, what am I going to do with 458? Because she also comes with torpedoes. She actually carries more of them than the 493 does. The 493, however, has the advantage of being able to launch all of them at the same time. And that is not having to worry about a submarine. The 458 has more torpedoes, fewer launchers, so fewer tubes. And she's way out of position. I want to see how well the 493 does, until I commit to anything else. A few minutes later, I get the update that I know what these things are. This is a Type 21 Amazon-class frigate. As such, she has a Type 184M hull-mounted sonar, capable of detecting me on active at 2.5 clicks, or passive at 8 clicks. But that is under good conditions. These conditions are not that. These conditions are 17 knots for her, because she's trying to keep up with her protectee. So that means she's not able to use that full detection range. They might, however, get a bit of a warning that there's torpedoes in the water. The Type 22 has the Type 2016 hull-mounted sonar, which has a lot more capability. 15 kilometer active range and 35 kilometer passive. This is going to be scary. If possible, I would love to eliminate the Type 22, and whereas I said a moment ago that I was not going to use these missiles, well, I'm thinking of reconsidering that. Because if this Type 22 gets eliminated, I can probably take out the Type 21 with the torpedoes and the Invincible just as well. So what's your air defense capabilities? You got not much. Because you're, what? You're an ASW frigate. So this thing is fantastic at defeating submarines, but it can barely defend itself. It doesn't even have a Sea Whiz. It has a, what? A Sea Wolf for short-range defense. It has a Stingray anti-submarine torpedo launcher, and it has an Exocet, the MM38. The Type 21s, I think, are pretty awful as well. They got the Sea Cats for 3 miles. They have an Oerlikon 20mm autocannon. Yeah, that, well, the Mark 8 and the 20mm might actually be able to lock down a couple of missiles, but I'm not sure. Okay, so here's the new plan. I'm going to push you at periscope depth, because we need to sink this Type 22. And that'll open up the way to get to the aircraft carrier, the Type 21. There's still one more behind it, and I'm not sure what it is. It's contact 7031. I'm getting detection for 7026, so I guess that's the same contact, just reacquired. We'll have to wait. The problem is that if I launch missiles, I will immediately be pointing a nice big finger at, hey, here's 458. So we're going to have to launch and then run like the wind. That's going to have to be the way that we go about this. As for missile attacks, I'm going to go 4 on the Type 22, 4 on the Type 21 to force both of them to defend themselves. And the aircraft carrier, well, if it takes a missile, it's a nice bonus, but it's not the objective. So, Salvo 4. Pause the game. Type 22. Salvo 4. Type 21. And we're gonna run it. There's one. Wow, these launch sequences could take a little shorter, as far as I'm concerned. Because this is gonna give me a few missiles fairly far apart, like 1.5 miles. So yes, it works, but the problem is, with that much spacing, they might very well get all detected and intercepted. At least they're sea skimmers. Okay, since we're up here anyway, and we're giving our position away, let's go periscope. And give me ESM. Might as well get all the information we can. I'm not picking up radar from them yet, so they don't know anything about me. They don't know that there's missiles coming in. We still got 2 sirens left. There's one more. One more, come on. There you go. Okay, lower ESM, lower periscope. Go down. We're not going to stay up here and see what the missiles are going to do. Because I can kind of do that visually. This guy is still on a course of 011. He's changed course. It's Type 22. Active radar. They know something's up. Well, they're not wrong. I know that the British have pretty piss-poor defensive capabilities when it comes to fighting missiles. So, I'm curious to see how well they'll do. Invincible herself. She has a Sea-Wish, she has a GWS-30, which is a Sea Dart. It is actually the most capable air defense system that they have, at least as far as I know. It's just that she's not actively coming under threat. You can see the launcher already looking at targets. Looking over her port side. There we go. She's launching, or preparing to launch. Wait, you just unloaded your missile? That's interesting. Getting some gunfire. They intercepted the first SSN-9. That's fine. I only have to get one hit. I don't need to get a bunch. I just need to get one hit. I want you to go to 2/3. Run away from this position. They got another SSN-9 by virtue of the GWS-25, which is the Sea Cat, I think? Sea Wolf. They're now at flank. They're not at flank. They're trying to turn around. Trying to get that launcher to bear. There she goes. 2, 3, 4... 5, 6. Now she's going to be reloading. Oh, we're all engaging the Type 22. Oh well, that's fine. As long as it's the most difficult target to kill, I don't mind it. I wonder if they sent all 6 missiles after 6 different targets. And by the looks of it, they very well might have. I got 3 missiles left. And I wouldn't be surprised if you're now going to start to join this fight. Yep, there's another. HMS Invincible has intercepted 2 missiles with her GWS-30. Yeah, this is why I was worried that the missiles were not going to go through. Their air defense pocket's too dense. And as such, my missiles won't go through. There's another missile coming off of Invincible. Going right for the SSN-9 here. Please don't get it. Come on, I just need one hit. Don't eat the flares, don't eat the chaff, kill the ship, thank you. Instant demise. Instant demise. That's excellent, that's the most dangerous anti-submarine platform that they have, gone. Boom. There's also a Type 42 behind them. This is a Sheffield class Royal Navy Fleet air defense destroyer designed for the late 1960s. She carries the Type 2050 hull-mounted sonar with a range of 50 miles passive? Good lord, you're actually more dangerous than any of your friends. Okay. That's not great. Putting it mildly. That's not great. They've decided to come to a stop. They're doing 1 knot. So, you are 30 miles out. You're doing 10 knots. I don't think they're going to detect you. Not yet. We've already claimed 1 kill. This is their second most dangerous ASW platform, apparently. Does this thing have torpedoes? Yes, but only out to a range of 6 miles. And they do carry a helicopter, which is arguably more dangerous, because those stingrays can be dropped right on top of me. Along with the Jezebel sonobuoys. So we're not in the clear yet, but at least we've dished out some damage. Torpedoes in the water, somewhere behind me. Mark 46, range 0.36. So there's a fairly decent chance that I have been detected. Although, with these torpedoes, you never quite know, because their seekers are not that great. If this torpedo is as close as I think it is, I think we're going to have to close the distance to the carrier a little faster. So let's go ahead full. Yeah, they definitely pumped a lot of torpedoes into the water. They dumped 4, if this count is accurate, which means there's 2 helicopters around. And they found the Alpha. They found the 493. I'm not sure if they've actually acquired yet. I think this one's close to it. Yep. We have an active torpedo in the water. Ahead flank. Don't care about cavitation. Run like the wind. Just run. Just run. Put a noisemaker and come right. Noisy as hell, but we'll just have to accept that for now. Rather noisy than dead. The good news is, if this was in fact 2 helicopters that dropped all their ordnance into the water, that means they don't have a lot left. 1 helicopter's empty, the second one might still have a torpedo left, but I'm not sure. Put another noisemaker into the water. These torpedoes are running at 45 knots. I'm running at 40... Well, I top out at 40, give or take. And I'm kind of running into the direction of the enemy fleet. Which is not necessarily a great position to be in. But hey. If if Red Storm Rising taught me anything, maybe it is better to run away into the direction of the enemy fleet. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3 torpedoes all coming for me. Can't see them behind the sub yet. Give me direct control. Hard to port. Pop a noisemaker. This thing is so loud that I don't really think I'll be confusing them. There's the torpedo. Oh boy. Another noisemaker. Oh no, 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 no. Up. That's gonna get me. Ow. Damage control. Bit of flooding. Unfortunately, we lost propulsion, so that's bad news. Buff the layer. It is, however, also somewhat bad news for them, because I'm about to be able to launch torpedoes at them. They've now both sped past. Cancel direct control. But they might come around and look for me again. What the hell is this? We got a flying fish here. That's interesting. You do have a torpedo inbound? Yeah, go tell me about it. I hope this flooding can be controlled. Because without propulsion, I'm not really able to do much beyond just popping a noisemaker and hoping for the best. Which is not exactly a sound strategy. Send it. 3 torpedoes. If we go down, at least they'll have something to worry about. Damage control. Flooding is now moderate. Which is problematic. I don't like these wake homers at all, because they're, as far as I'm concerned, very unpredictable. I'm just gonna kind of saturate the place and send the last one after Invincible. And that's pretty much the usefulness of this submarine done, because these things are not capable of attacking surface targets. So if this submarine emergency surfaces and promptly fails, fully dies, that's the end of it. She'll have wasted all of her, well, she'll have spent all of her torpedoes anyway. So, yeah. That's the end of the 493. I think. Morning. Activate your radar. Oh. Hello. Oh, this is the bastard that dropped the torpedoes. At P3. And they still have more. Are we picking them up on radar? Yeah, we're... we have them on the search radar for the 493. Gentlemen, I do recommend you come back aboard. It is not quite nice out there. We are heavily flooded. Now, I wonder whether the Brits are going to be able to dodge those torpedoes. But I think this guy is going to finish me off before I get to know the question. Or before I get to know the answer. We got him on visual. Oh, because we surfaced briefly. Yeah. And there we go. The 493 is dead. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Mission failure. The 493 had to survive. I've now traded one submarine for one surface ship, but it's still a mission failure. Now, I'm very much looking forward to trying this again and potentially using a different tactic. So, I am going to do this mission again. Thank you for watching, hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon for more. I gotta wait for this guy to speed up. If he's doing 6 knots, he will most definitely detect a torpedo launch. At 17 knots and 22 knots, that's an entirely different story. So this Type 22 has to piss off and not ruin the day here. Come on. Take your time to listen. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. 4.5 miles out. At some point, it's going to be out of position relative to the carrier and speeding up. Carrier, less than 5 miles away. There you go. He's just sped up. He's doing 19, 22 knots. Send it. 1 against the carrier. 2 against the carrier. 3 against the carrier. 1 against the Type 22. I'm going to keep 2 torpedoes in reserve.